Is the file is visible to you, all of you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let's start or wait. Only 10 people, 9 people are there. 2 more minutes I'll wait. After that I'll start 7:05. Okay.
Okay, sir.
All right. So let me start. Today's the topic, diffusion of innovation, right? So here, the diffusion of innovation, the first, if you think about what is innovation, innovation is nothing else the newness of a product or anything is innovated or any new product has come to the market or an existing product has changed its shape, size, color, design or some infrastructures or technological changes are there, then that is called as the innovation. Diffusion means how fast this innovation will come and reach to the final ultimate user of the product or consumer. I mean, the diffusion of innovation itself starts as the process by which an innovation is communicated through certain channels over time among the members of social system. Here, innovation stands for the newness of a product. Either it is an existing product or a new product that comes to the market, it should be reached to the final consumer as fast as possible, because until and unless it reaches to the consumers, the consumer cannot, utilize this product. Like last class I have told, the message should be exposed after the production. Manufacturer has produced the product, the message should be exposed exactly here. It is a process by which innovation is communicated. Communicated matlab the message is transferred, creating awareness among the consumer, so that consumers will came to know about the usages of the product through certain channels over time. Certain channels means there are many ways of communications are there. Either it is through personal communication, either through external communication, or it's through experimental communication, and many more ways of information sources are there. And that time I have told about how communication takes place. So over time among the members of a social system, over time matlab how fast, like in word of mouth. As we know that word of mouth spreads 1,000 miles without taking money, without paying money, without having any sponsor candidates are there. A person can start, advertising the product and it leads to 1,000 miles without wasting single time. So within a fraction of, hours, it will reach to 1,000 miles. Diffusion, matlab samajh mein aa gaya diffusion. अरे यार ये definition clear हुआ? Diffusion of innovation, the process by which an innovation is communicated through certain channels over time among the members of a social system. ये हुआ कि नहीं?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
In this context, communication is a process whereby participants share information to reach a mutual understanding. यार ये जो communication होता है ना, ये क्या होता है ना? I mean, you see, the message from the manufacturer must be communicated to the consumer. I mean, there are so many ways are there to communicate. So the bridge in between manufacturer to consumer about the product must be constructed, and that is through communication. समझ में आ रहा है? So diffusion is a special type of communication in which the messages are about a new idea. See, new idea, newness, they are all called as the innovations. So the newness of the idea gives diffusion its special character. It ensures that a degree of uncertainty is involved in diffusion. मतलब देखो यार, the target market, what is called as the target market, first try to understand. Where the suspects are staying. I mean, where the manufacturer identified that these consumers are not having any knowledge about the product I have been produced. Hence, the total market is called target market. They have been designated as suspects. So they started, communicating the product either through some communication process, either through personal selling, either through advertisement, either through sales promotion, propaganda, publicity, hoardings, leaflets. No, there are billboards. There are many ways of communication. Outdoor media is there, print media is there, indoor medias are there, digital marketing is there, virtual platforms are there. Many ways are there to communicate, but here also the manufacturer always having an uncertainty that all consumers came to know about the product. So here the suspects, when communicated by the product manufacturer, some of them came to know about the product. They are called as the prospects. So from the prospects, some of them are purchasing. They are called as the clients. Hence, there is always an uncertainty that all persons will come, or how many persons will come and purchase your product. How many persons will came to know about your product. So that's degree of uncertainty is always involved for the manufacturer. ये समझ में आ गया पूरा? हेलो?
Yes, sir.
अच्छा, मैं सोचा कोई है कि नहीं. समझ में आ गया?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. So next one is, the information become a means of reducing uncertainty. When there is uncertainties are there, then many informations are, becomes a means to reduce the uncertainty. That means the frequency of advertisement. That why the FMCG products are having frequency of advertisement. मतलब जो दिखता है वो बिकता है. Out of sight means out of mind. Okay. So मतलब जैसे कि वो एडवर्टाइजमेंट निकल गया, किसी को आया नहीं एक दो बार, उसके बाद ये क्या होता है ना, कंज्यूमर के दिमाग से वो चला जाता है. So as far as the consumers are seeing the product advertisements, still then that product will be there in the minds and creates a positioning in the minds of the consumers, otherwise not. समझ में आ रहा है? Any technological innovation embodies information and thus reduce uncertainty about cause-effect relationship in problem solving. देखो यार, nowadays you think about Motorola. Motorola came to India in 1980s. Okay, and it was a heavy, huge, model of cell phone. And that time no other cell phones were active. Only BSNL landline was there. Hence, at the moment Motorola came with the cellular, handset, then many persons are interested and purchased. But 1980s again, after a couple of years, Nokia entered into the Indian market with a new technology and the taglines connecting India. So hence, and immediately people are converted to purchase Motorola and they started purchasing, Nokia. And after that, Samsung entered into the market. Then LG entered into the market. Then Oppo, Libo, they also entered. Chinese products has entered. iPhone has also entered into the Indian markets. So whenever the technology innovations are changes, they also sometimes reduces the uncertainty about cause-effect relationship in problem solving. When consumers are having problems, these technologies try to solve their problems. समझ में आ रहा है?
Yes.
So here, to put this in nutshell for Rogers, definition is diffusion of innovation means the dissemination of uncertainty, reducing information embodied in products or process through a social system. समझ में आ रहा है? Dissemination of uncertainty, reducing information embodied in products or process through a social system. So Roger has defined that diffusion of innovation means nothing else but continuous reduction of uncertainty and informations are spread into a social system. Social system means a society. Either it is a tribal area, either it is urban area, or it is semi-urban, or it is metro, or it is city, town, countries like that. So wherever the uncertainty is reduced and information is passed through all consumers, that is called as diffusion of innovations. So here the process of diffusion of innovations, where an innovation is communicated through certain channels over time among members of a social system. So diffusion innovation is nothing but it is a process where innovations means the newness is communicated through certain channels. Channels means either way, there are many communication mix are there, promotion mix are there over time among the social system means as a society. So here you will find there are 4 elements of innovations are there. So number 1 is it is an innovation communicated through certain channel over times among members of a social system. ये होता है process. These are the 4 processes through which diffusion of innovation is diffused among the consumers. So the process is number 1 is an innovation. Number 2 is communicated through certain channels. Number 3 is over time. Number 4 among members of social system or among the members of the society. So the first one is an innovation. An idea, practice or object that is perceived as new by individuals or other unit of adoption. Adoption means those who are adopting this innovations. So this may be an idea, maybe a practice, maybe an object, maybe in goods, maybe in place, maybe in people that is perceived as new. Whatever it is new is called an innovation. An individual or other unit of adoption, whatever is comes to the mind as new, that is called as an innovation. All right. So technology is a design for instrumental actions that reduces the uncertainty in the cause-effect relationship involved in achieving a desired outcomes. ये मैंने पहले से ही बताया था यार, कैसे सॉफ्टवेयर में कैसे टेक्नोलॉजी मतलब अनसर्टेनिटी को रिड्यूस कर देता है. Technology is means of uncertainty reduction that is made possible by information about cause-effect relationship on which the technology is based. I've given you, 1980s, you find there are many technologies has come to India. The motor, automobile sector also you find in India in 1980s, before 1980s, only 2 cars were there. That is Hindustan Motors Ambassador and Premier Pod means Fiat. And these 2 cars were having, control over all over the Indian markets. But Maruti Suzuki came with the concept of small car segment, Maruti 800, and smashed, the market of both Hindustan, automobiles, that is Ambassador, as well as Premier Pod means market Fiat. All right. So the technology actually, when the new technologies is arrived, you will find they have been replaced. You see, nowadays you find there are many types of mobiles are coming. They are only different of their technology, only different of their storage capacity, different about their, what is called the camera pixels, or you will find, the apps they have been given and the memories they have been given, and that is only the changes in that mobile nowadays. So your technology innovation both creates one kind of uncertainty and represent an opportunity for reduced uncertainty in another sense. Okay, what are they? You see, increased uncertainty about the innovation's expected consequences. Number two, reduced uncertainty that is derived from the information based on the technology. So increased uncertainty मतलब expected consequences. यो यार हम लोग को जब नया नया चीज आ रहा है, देखो पहले कंप्यूटर आया डेस्कटॉप, उसके बाद लैपटॉप आ गया, उसके बाद पाम टॉप आ गया, उसके बाद नोटपैड आ गया, ये अभी आई टॉप आ गया. अभी देखा होगा आई टॉप भी लग जाता है वो रोबोट के जो होता है ना हैट, वहां पे भी कंप्यूटर लगा रहता है. ये होता है, इंक्रीज होता है अनसर्टेनिटी. यार आगे क्या आएगा. ये reduce uncertainty derived from the information based on the technology. अच्छा, the communication process nowadays become faster. Think about earlier we are sending messages through postcards. Now after that SMS came and email came, then WhatsApp came, Facebook came, Instagram came. Many more ways of social media came to transport the messages from one corner of the world to another. Okay? अरे ये वाला समझ में आ गया up to this?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sound नहीं आ रहा है किसका भी?
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Okay. Uncertainty reducing potential provides the motivation for the innovations to learn about the innovation. See, always the uncertainty. हम लोग के क्या होता है ना, जब नया प्रोडक्ट आता है तो हम लोग क्या करते हैं, यार इसको यूज करें या ना करें, क्योंकि कोई यूज किया तो उसको पूछते हैं बार बार. क्यों? हम लोग को डाउट रहता है कि ये अच्छा से काम करेगा कि नहीं करेगा. One, information seeking has reduced uncertainty about the innovation's expected consequences to a tolerable level. A decision concern adoption will be made. हर एक आदमी के पास एक चीज रहता है कि यार हम जो प्रोडक्ट खरीद रहे हैं ये अच्छा है या बुरा है. रोज हम लोग इसके बारे में सोचते हैं. ड्रेस तो खरीद के ले आते हैं, अच्छा ड्रेस, लेकिन घर के जो लाते हैं वहां पे लोग देखते हैं, अरे यार ये क्या चीज लेके आ गए. So always you will find there is information seeking. Many information seekings are also reduced to uncertainty about the innovation expected. Thus, the innovation decision process is essentially about information seeking, allowing the individuals to reduce uncertainty about the advantage and disadvantage of the innovation. So, two kind of informations with regard to a technological, that is software means informations. What does it do? How does it work? Innovation evaluation information. What are an innovation's consequences? What will its advantage and disadvantages be in my situation? तो यार यहाँ पे दो तरह का ये इनोवेशन होता है. एक होता है सॉफ्टवेयर. सॉफ्टवेयर मतलब आईटी. Nowadays you will find microchips, motherboards playing a vital role. Every electronic items you will find they are full of motherboards, and the motherboards is nothing. They are programmable, EEPROM, that is called as electronic programmable read-only memory. The programs are set on the motherboard, so they are called as the software informations. What does it do? How does it work? That is called as the software solutions. They provide the software solutions with the motherboards, hence your electronics items are worked. Innovation evaluation informations. How evaluation matlab how does this works? For example, a washing machine and a AC. You will find in AC there are only 2-3 buttons are there and easy to learn, and the repairing also easy. Whereas washing machine is 100 buttons are there. The motherboard is also full of microchips. Here and there the gates are there. The RJ flip-flop are there. Registers are there. Many things are there because of its 100 types of buttons and 100 types of operations they perform. So there are you will have some advantages and disadvantages also. So the characteristics of innovation. What are the characteristics of innovations? 5 characteristics are there. One is called as the relative advantage. Number 2 is called as the compatibility. Number 3 is complexity. Number 4 is trialability. Number 5 is observability. ये 5 होता है ना कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स ऑफ इनोवेशन. मतलब जो नया चीज आता है ये बेस होता है ये 5 चीज के अंदर नया चीज आता है. तो फर्स्ट वन इज रिलेटिव एडवांटेजेस. Over existing technologies can be perceived, may be measured in economic terms, social prestige, convenience and satisfaction. For example, email. देखो ये रिलेटिव एडवांटेजेस होता है. जो पहले हम लोग भेजते थे मतलब लेटर, ये मतलब बहुत दिन लगता था जाने के लिए. यहाँ से कि मान लो कि हम उत्तर प्रदेश भेजेंगे, ये 2 दिन 3 दिन लग जाता था हमारा इंग्लैंड लेटर या पोस्ट कार्ड या कवर भेजते. देखो अभी ईमेल आ गया, अटैच कर देते हैं, इमीडिएट फ्रैक्शन ऑफ seconds it reaches to another person. So that's called as the relative advantage over other products. Okay. Number 2 is your compatibility with existing values, past experiences, needs of potential adapters and their social system. So here the NF wrench or wax. See, I mean these are the used for hair removings. Okay. So they have been replaced. That is very compatible. पहले क्या करते थे वो, क्या हम लोग जाते दाढ़ी बनाने के लिए वो उस तरह लेके आता था, वो क्या कहते हैं वो ये वाला बार्बर, और वो हमारा जो दाढ़ी बना देता था. अभी क्या है, अभी वो आने फ्रेंच और वैक्स आ गया और एक क्रीम आ गया, क्रीम लगाओ और गर्म पानी में उसको धो ऑल हेयर्स और द बियर्ड्स विल बी क्लियर. So that is called as the compatibility with the existing values, past experience, need to be potential adapters and their social system. Next one is complexity, the degree to which an innovation is perceived as difficult to understand and use. For example, mixer grinder. Now, previously the Indian women are using 2 stones to grind the items. So now the mixer grinder has came, that immediately solving the problems. Instead of using 2 stones, that machine is, the motor is coming. And that is also very difficult to understand and use. Complexity of the mixer grinder. All right. So they have been replaced. It was very easy to use that is in Oriya it is called as the Gorona or Chokki. So that was easy to use, but very, very hard work. It needs very hard working. Whereas mixer grinder is a complexity product and replaced the stone. Called as the stone way of using grinder. Trialability, the degree to which an innovation may be experienced on a limited basis. A trialable innovation represented less uncertainty to a potential adopter. For example, test drives. Always you will find whenever we are going to purchase the cars or bikes, we are going for a test drives. After test drives, after having some experiments, okay, then only our uncertainties are decreased. Hence, we are going to purchase the products. So last one is observability. Degree 2 is the results of an innovations are visible to others. For example, designer wears jewelries. That is observable. Whenever we see the advertisements of jewelries and once we are need to purchase, we remember that advertisement and we used to purchase that product. So this is called as the innovations. Next one is communication channels. The means by which messages gets from one individual to another. There are 4, the nature of information exchange relations determines the conditions under which a source will or will not transmit the innovation to the received and effect of the transfer. The means by which messages gets from one individual to another is called as communication channels. So nature of information exchange, that is nothing else, message been exposed by the manufacturer and reached to the consumer. So in between manufacturer and the consumer, the communication makes a bridge and that message is exchanged in between manufacturer and the consumers. So here 4 types of communications are there. One is called as the personal sources like family, friends, neighbors, etc. Peer group, reference group, etc. Commercial sources like sales promotion, advertisement, sales peoples, etc. or propaganda, publicity, hoardings, leaflets, signboards. So these are called as the commercial sources. Public sources like mass media, consumer rating organization, they are called as the public sources. Experimental sources like samples, free coupons, demonstrations, etc. So these are the four ways, sources of communication through which the innovation is communicated over time to a social system. समझ में आ गया ये वाला कम्युनिकेशन?
जी सर.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so communication channels like mass media or interpersonal channels. The most efficient way to create awareness, knowledge of an innovation is called mass media. Mass media is nothing else but TV, radio, computers, virtual platforms, okay, social media platforms. So they are called as the mass media, where you will find maximum consumers are getting the knowledge about the product, and awareness has been created to mass public. That type of communication media is called mass media. Interpersonal channels more effective in persuading an individual to accept a new idea. Interpersonal like word of mouth, personal sources. Okay, so they are called as the one-to-one communication through which you will find communication is communicated from manufacturer to consumers. So individuals do not evaluate innovations on the basis of scientific assessment of its consequences, rather depends on subjective assessment conveyed to them from peers. Thus diffusion is a social process. So sometimes the question comes, why diffusion is a social? Explain why diffusion is a social process. So here you will find that do not evaluate innovation on the basis of scientific assessment of its consequences, rather depend on the subjective assessment conveyed to them from peers. For example, any product comes to the mind, जैसे LIC का कम्युनिकेशन कैसे करता है? जिंदगी के साथ भी, जिंदगी के बाद भी. See, this type of images, videos, stories that reflects on the consumer's mind, rather than the other ways of transforming communications. So always you will find it is subjective assessment conveyed to them from peers. Thus diffusion is a social process. Okay. So innovation decision process, sometimes you will find the process through which an individual passes from first knowledge of an innovation to forming attitudes towards the innovation to a decision to adopt or reject it. So the innovation decision process leads to an individual passes from first knowledge. You see, that is called the word of mouth communications. Once I told in somebody will tell to others, and this way of reaching the innovation or the creating awareness among the existing consumers in a social system. So innovation to form an attitudes towards the innovation to decision to adopt or reject. See, sometimes the innovation, when we have been seen on communication comes to the consumer may accept it or reject it. If consumer's attitude is positive or emotion is attached, or it creates a positioning in the minds of consumer, definitely the innovation will be adopted. Otherwise, the innovation will be definitely rejected. So here you will find the 5 stages of innovation decision process. Knowledge, persuasion, decision, implementation, and confirmations. First, as I have told you, Dr. Abdul Kalam has told, the consumer should learn. Learning leads to knowledge. Knowledge leads to experiments, and experiences lead to a good human being. Here also, the innovation process doing nothing, the same thing. It starts from the knowledge, then persuasions, then decisions taken by the consumer, then after decision it implementation, then confirmations. So now the first one is the knowledge. Knowledge occurs when an individual learns of the innovation's existence and gains some understanding of how it functions. Knowledge bole to, how the awareness has been created, how to use the product, that uses of the product is called as the knowledge. For example, bike. Once we have been purchased the bike, we started collecting informations about everything of the bike or the car or the mobile. Everything we have been learning. That's called as the knowledge. So we learn something before having an expertise. First we are learning and learns of the innovation existence and gain some understanding of how it functions. The functional process of any goods, services or ideas, that's called as the knowledge. First we are collecting the knowledge. After learning only, knowledge will be collected. Next one is the persuasion occurs when an individual or other decision making units forms a favorable or unfavorable attitudes towards the innovation. समझ में आ रहा है? Persuasion occurs when an individual or other decision making units forms a favorable or unfavorable attitudes towards the innovations. एक मिनट. Okay. So persuasion occurs when an individual or other decision making units forms a favorable or unfavorable attitudes toward the innovation. So after collecting the knowledge, you will find interest occurs. Interest or desire occurs. That's called as the persuasion. Persuasion may be a favorable or unfavorable. The interest may be positive interest or negative interest. Positive or negative attitudes towards an innovations. Once we collect the knowledge, then we will have an interest. Interest may be positive or negative. Then third one is decision occurs when an individual engages in activities that leads to choice to adopt or reject the innovations. So the number 3 is after knowledge, interest, then decision. If positive interest is there, decision will be, act of purchase will be positive. If positive negative interest is there, then that decision will be negative and will not purchase. I mean, either the innovation will be adopted or rejected. Adopted means we can go for purchase or use the product. Rejected means we will reject the innovation and the newness of the product will not be accepted by the consumer. So next one is implementation occurs when an individual puts an innovation into use. Re-innovation is especially likely to occur at the implementation stage. When an individual puts an innovation into use, I mean after decision, when decision is positive or the consumer adopts an innovation, then definitely the consumer will use the product. The use leads to post-purchase services. That's called as the reuse of the product. So that is called the reinvention is especially likely to occur at the implementation stage, where only we can start reusing the product. जैसे मूवी देखने जाते हैं, एक शो देखे तो अच्छा लगा तो हम लोग बोलते हैं यार चलो यार एक बार और देखते हैं, तो इसको कहते हैं ना reinventions is especially likely to occur at the implementation stage. Confirmation occurs when an individual seeks reinforcements of an innovation decision that has already been made, but the individual may reverse these previous decisions if exposed conflicting innovations. Confirmation occurs when an individual seeks reinforcement. Reinforcement मतलब either it is a punishment or a reward. कैसे होता है? जैसे हम लोग नॉलेज गेन किए, इंटरेस्ट पॉजिटिव हुआ, डिसीजन भी पॉजिटिव हुआ, एडॉप्ट किए, फिर उसको रीयूज किए, उसके बाद कंफर्मेशन अकर्स, either we will be punished to that product. That means if we are disagree about the product, we will started doing the demarketing. When we are agree of the product, adopting the product continuously, that means I am giving rewards to that innovations, and has already made, but the individuals may reverse these previous decisions if exposed to conflicting innovations. Sometimes innovations are conflicting. Sometimes we are saying यार ये प्रोडक्ट अच्छा नहीं है, क्यों? ये जो इनोवेशन से एकदम ठीक नहीं है. After we have seen the critics, but at the time we use the product, we find यार we were wrong and this product is very, very nice. Okay, so these are the processes of diffusion of innovation. So here you will find that the knowledge stage, the individual wants to know what the innovation is and how and why it works. So mass media channels are used at the persuasion stages. The individual wants to know the innovation's advantages and disadvantages in his or her situation, that is interpersonal network. Ultimately, the innovation decision process leads to either adoption or rejection. Okay. So next one is innovation and adopter categories. Either the innovation will be adopted or it will be rejected. So innovativeness means the degree to which an individual or other units of adoption is relatively earlier in adopting new ideas than the other members of the system. So members of each adopter categories tend to have good deal in common. See, there are the five, adopter categories are there, starting from your adopters, innovators, late majority, early majority, late majority, and laggards. So these are the five adopter categories are there. We will find that adopter categories one by one. Innovators, early adopters, early majority, late majority, and laggards. So see this graph, categories of adopters. See, innovators are only 2.5%. Okay. See here, the percentage is 2.5% in the world, whereas early adopters are 13.5%, early majority 34%, late majority 34%, laggards are 16%. See, the innovators are nothing else, they are called as technological enthusiasts, or the elite class persons categories are called innovators. Whereas, the upper class categories are called early adopters, they are 13.5% as there. Then there is a gap in between 13.5, early adopter to early majority. That gap is called the chasm. All right, because there is a huge gap in between this. So they are called as the upper class, and they are the starts with upper middle class and lower middle class. That is, late majority is upper middle class, early majority is upper middle class, and late majority is lower middle class. So these two are, when you add, they are called as the middle class actually, 34% and 34%. Whereas the laggards, that means have-nots, the skeptics, they are called as the laggards, they are 16%. So here you will find the innovators are technological enthusiastic persons, and early adopters are visionaries because they will be adopt the product after innovators used, and the pragmatics, they will think so many times. Cognitive learners, they are called as the cognitive learners, because though they are having money, though they are having knowledge, but they will think so many ways, they will sort so many products before using it. And late majority, they are the conservatives, they will wait, the product will come to their reach, then only they will purchase. Laggards, they are very skeptics persons, at the product will be obsolete, then they will use the product. That's why they are called as the skeptics or laggards. Clear?
Sir, laggards.
Hello.
Sir, laggards once again.
Repeat. तो मेरा साउंड क्यों नहीं आ रहा है? एक मिनट. ओके. सो कौन सा रिपीट करे बोलो?
Last one.
Wait. Okay. So here I'll go one by one again. You see, the process of adopter categories are 5, starting from innovators to laggards. Innovators are they are the persons are called the elite consumers, immediately adopt the product without thinking the price. Okay, whereas early adopters are brand level consumers, they are visionaries, hence they will use the product after innovators are used. both these persons are called 16%, they are called as the elite class groups or upper class groups. Whereas the early majorities, they are called as the pragmatists, they are the upper middle class. Late majorities are called conservatives, they are called as the lower middle class. Both these groups are called, middle class consumers, and they consist of 68% of the world population. And laggards are called as the skeptics, they are also called as the 16% of the total populations. Okay, so there is a huge gap in between, upper class to middle class, and that gap is called as, the chasma. Okay, I'll tell you what is chasma also. Now, the first one is called as the innovators. Technology enthusiasts appreciate technology for its own sake, motivated by ideas, being a change agent. So they are called as, sometimes called as the change agent. Will tolerate initial glitches. All right. So with whatever the price, doesn't matter, they will not influence about the price. Will develop makeshift solutions. Always they are ready to use the product, whatever the consequences are there, whatever the prices are there, whatever the images are there, but they are brand lover, and premium product category only they will use. Willing to alpha beta test and work with technical personals in compensation with lower pricing. You see, so they are always, go for technical persons. They'll ask a technical person whether you see this is, a good product or not. Importance, they are the gatekeeper of the next group of adopter. After their use only, the adopters early adopters will use the product. So next one is the early adopters. They are called as the visionaries. Want to revolutionize competitive rules in their industry. Attracted by high risk, high reward projects, return of psychological and substantiative benefits, not necessary, very price sensitive, demand customized solution, and intensive tech support will supply missing elements of total solution. Product from computation between categories of solution, determinants of standard and dominant design. Early adopter communicates horizontally across industry boundaries, opinion leaders and change agents. Look, what is the gist of this? They are called as the visionaries. Visionary means, once they want to use the product, that means they will also think what are the pros and cons of the product. They will ask the innovators because they are the first user of the product. After that, they will use, and that will be a revolutionize in the world. Once the product will not be used by the visionaries, visionaries are the criticizers of the product. Now, always they are giving the criticisms, they are giving the remarks, and their remarks leads to early majority middle class people and laggards. Hence, your 80% of populations are, depends upon the 13.5% people's usages of the product. That's why they are always attracted by high risk and high reward projects in return of psychological and substantiative benefits. See, that's why they are called as the visionaries. So they are not very price sensitive. Then, the innovators and adopter categories, early adopters are not price sensitive. Whatever the price, doesn't matter to them. So demand customized solution. Always they will find what the pros are there. Pros are, the advantages are more or less. So customized solutions will be there. Intensive tech supports will supply missing elements of total solution. Sometimes they will give the remarks, and from their remarks only the product will be changed. Innovators will not give any remarks. They are the first user, doesn't matter, because they are having plenty of money to spend extravagantly. But this category early adopters, they are called as the middle, lower upper class peoples. Hence, they will utilize these products, and that will be helpful to the further categories. hence will supply missing elements of total solution. जो भी missing रहेगा उसको इन लोगों ने निकाल के उसको दे देंगे. Product form competition and between categories of solution determine standard dominant design, whatever it is, either it is a design is problem or you see like Yamaha. Sometimes you see Yamaha comes with a bike. If you have seen this, it looks like a dog, enticer. If you can see this bike, Yamaha enticer. So that has been remodeled by Bajaj. That they came with Bajaj Avenger. All right, but couldn't work in the market. But maximum peoples have been used. They are called as the early adopter groups. After that, this bike has not been utilized by others, hence vanished from the market. So early adopters communicate horizontally across industry boundaries. They are called as the opinion leaders and change agents. I have told you, opinion leader, when I was teaching, opinion leaders will tell the pros and cons, whereas innovators will not tell you the merits and demerits of the product, because they are having plenty of money to spend. If this product doesn't work, doesn't good for them, doesn't matter, they will go for another product without having a second thought. But early majority, they will find the benefits and the demerits of the product. Hence they will can only tell without having any biasness. They will tell the pros and cons of the product. Hence they are called as the opinion leaders. Early majority, that is pragmatists, comfortable with only evolutionary changes in business practices in order to gain productivity enhancement, risk aversion to disruptions in their options, want proven applications, reliable services, seek the convenient whole product design, a total solution provided at once, but only with the reference from trusted colleagues in same industry. They are called as the upper middle class people. They are always, they are not comfortable to purchase immediately the product. They will see that what is the other group they have been purchased. They will ask, they will query about the product because they don't want to take any risk. They are not the risk takers. Okay. And they always want that whatever the products are there, they must have a proven, it should be proved applications or reliable services they will adopt. Otherwise, they are not going to, adopt the category. Seek the convenient whole product design. इन लोग ने क्या करेंगे, जो एडॉप्टर कैटेगरी वाला जो प्रॉस एंड कॉन्स देगा उसको देखेंगे और उसको देखेंगे वो ये जो आइटम प्रूव्ड है कि नहीं, ये आइटम एकदम मतलब हर एक आदमी इसको यूटिलाइज कर रहा है कि नहीं कर रहा है, क्यों नहीं कर रहा है, उसका कहाँ पे गलती है, ये सब देखेंगे क्योंकि वो मिडिल क्लास का कैटेगरी का होते हैं. They only buy with reference from trusted colleagues in same industry. जो कलीग लोग यूज करते हैं ना, इनको वो लोग पूछेंगे. मान लो कि उनका सीईओ यूज कर रहा है और वो भी खरीदना चाहता है, तो उस सीईओ से पूछेगा सर ये कैसा है, तो सीईओ मतलब उसका प्रॉस एंड कॉन्स बताएगा, उसके बाद वो जाके खरीदेगा, अदरवाइज नहीं. क्योंकि इन लोग को सब रोज चाहिए यार, ये प्रूव्ड होना चाहिए. इट शुड बी एक्सेप्टेड बाय द अर्ली अडॉप्टर्स, द ओपिनियन लीडर्स. So they always seek the information from opinion leaders before purchasing the product. This group is bulk work of the mainstream markets. They want to move together, hard mentality. They want to pick the same technology solution, avoid risk. Once they make a decision, they want to implement it quickly, high visibility performance, required industry standards. See, as I have told you, they always go to the market with a group, because whatever the group, you see, हम लोग देख रहे हैं कि एक चाट वाला है, रमादेव की फ्रंट में बहुत सारा चाट वाला है. जिस चाट की दुकान में ज्यादा लोग होते हैं, हम लोग वहीं जाके खाते हैं, क्योंकि हमारा एक साइकोलॉजिकल कॉन्सेप्ट होता है, यहाँ से ही अच्छा चाट मिलेगा. तो हम लोग क्या करते हैं ना, सब ग्रुप में जाते हैं. ग्रुप में जाके हम लोग जो मिडिल क्लास वाले होते हैं, ये लोग ग्रुप में जाके अपना प्रोडक्ट खरीद देते हैं. They want to pick the same technology solution. They don't want to take any risk. after the proven technology only they will purchase the product. See, iPhone 14 everybody is not purchasing. क्यों नहीं खरीद रहे? क्योंकि इन लोगों को देखे कि यार ओप्पो और वीवो बढ़िया है, हम लोग क्यों खरीदेंगे? या सैमसंग खरीदो, माइक्रोमैक्स खरीदो, वो कम पैसे से बढ़िया कॉन्फ़िगरेशन दे रहा है, तो हम लोग क्या करेंगे? रिस्क टेकर्स नहीं होते. See, once they make the decision, they want to implement it quickly because they are high visibility of performance, require industry standards. Okay, late majority conservative groups, they are the lower middle class people. Hote risk averse technologies high, very price sensitive. They are very price sensitive persons. They'll go for many discounted products. They are otherwise called as the switchers. Require completely pre-assembled bullet-proof reliable performance solution. उन लोग तो प्रूफ चाहिए था, लेकिन ये पूरा एकदम बुलेट प्रूफ, एकदम कॉन्फिडेंट होना चाहिए. जो प्रोडक्ट हम लोग खरीद रहे एकदम अच्छा होना चाहिए, और उसका प्राइस को भी हम लोग देखते हैं. मोटिवेटेड ओनली बाय नीड टू कीप अप विथ कॉम्पिटिटर्स इन द इंडस्ट्री. सी, इसका जिसका प्रोडक्ट के ज्यादा कॉम्पिटिटर होता है वही प्रोडक्ट को हम लोग खरीदते हैं. नीड टू कीप अप विथ कॉम्पिटिटर्स इन द इंडस्ट्री. रिलाय ऑन सिंगल ट्रस्टेड एडवाइजर. ओपिनियन लीडर एक को सुनेंगे इन लोग. ये जो बोलेगा, जैसे कि मैं बोला था जाजावर लोग का होता है ना, इन लोग का तो सरदार होता है, वो जो बोल देगा वो लॉ ऑफ द लैंड, बिकॉज दे आर वेरी कंजर्वेटिव इन नेचर. So want to maintain status quo. Technology is hindrance to operations. Okay, the guys resist to the technological progress by only if all other alternatives worse. ये जो अल्टरनेटिव पूरा खराब रहेगा, जैसे कि देखो पॉन्ड्स, मैंने बोला था आप लोग को कभी क्लास में बोला होगा, 3 टाइप का पॉन्ड्स मिल रहा है. एक होता है PUND', और एक होता है POND', और एक होता है POOND'. यहाँ से एक होता है मेन प्रोडक्ट और 2 सब्स्टिट्यूट प्रोडक्ट है. पता है सब्स्टिट्यूट प्रोडक्ट कौन सा है? अरे है क्या नहीं है तुम लोग? यार मैं 3 पॉइंट्स का बोला था, 3 पॉइंट्स में कौन सा सब्स्टिट्यूट है, कौन सा मेन है, ओरिजिनल कौन सा है?
PONDS.
POND', and PUND'?
No.
Okay, so these two are called as the, क्या कहते हैं उसको, or substitute products. If all alternatives are worse, the substitutes are worse, hence you will purchase the bonds only. Okay, so what is the CHASM? The gap between early market and mainstream market. Visionaries versus pragmatism. Visionary market is saturated, but mainstream market is not yet ready to buy. See, the 13.4% market, बहुत कम लोग होते हैं, इन लोग खरीद लिए, बाद सैचुरेट हो गया, उसके बाद it takes a long time to adopt by the early majority. Marketing that is successfully with visionaries simply is not effective with pragmatists. All right, so rate of adoption, then the last one is the laggards. Okay, laggards are called as the skeptics. Want to maintain status quo, technology is a hindrance to the operations by only if all alternatives are worse. Okay, so CHASM is clear. ये हो गया तुम्हारा, क्या कहते हैं, कैटेगरीज ऑफ एडॉप्टर्स. ये क्लियर हो गया पूरा? डाउट है? देखो ये तुम्हारा 5 मॉड्यूल जो था ये पूरा खत्म हो गया. कल तुम लोग कुछ डाउट लेके आ सकते हो, लास्ट क्लास है कल. ठीक है, कल हम लोग क्वेश्चन डिस्कशन करेंगे चैप्टर वाइज, मॉड्यूल वाइज. ठीक है, 5 मार्क का, 8 मार्क का और 16 क्या कहते हैं 12 मार्क का ये डिस्कशन करेंगे. कैसे लिखेंगे ये वाला मैं बता दूंगा कल. ठीक है, और आपका कुछ भी डाउट रहेगा कल ये 5 मॉड्यूल में आप लोग मुझे पूछ सकते हो. ठीक है,
ये 400 में वो गैप जो गैप ना क्या?
हाँ, जो गैप होता है ना, देखो जो जो प्रोडक्ट हम लोग खरीदते हैं, क्या हम लोग इमीडिएट जो मार्केट में आता है खरीद लेते हैं?
नहीं नहीं, पहले देखते हैं
हायाबुसा
कैसे।
हायाबुसा आया मार्केट को, बेंटली आया मार्केट को, क्या सब ने खरीद लिए? कुछ लोग ने खरीदे पहले, है कि नहीं? दे आर कॉल्ड एज द इनोवेटर्स। उनको देखते हुए और जो कुछ ग्रुप खरीद लिए उसको कहते हैं अर्ली एडॉप्टर्स। अभी हायाबुसा मिडिल क्लास को आने के लिए बहुत टाइम लगेगा, है कि नहीं? इस जो गैप को कहते हैं चाशम, समझ में आ रहा है?
ओके सर।
अरे देखो, ये जो प्रोडक्ट मार्केट है, BMW बोलो या मर्सिडीज बोलो, इन लोग को कौन खरीद ले? सब खरीद देते हैं क्या?
नहीं सर।
नहीं। ये जो गैप है, देखो अभी कुछ लोग खरीद लिया, उसको देखते हुए कुछ और लोग खरीद लिए, अभी वहां का मार्केट सैचुरेट हो जाएगा, और जो मिडिल क्लास को आते आते जो टाइम लगेगा, वो टाइम को कहते हैं 400। समझ में आ रहा है?
ओके सर।
एनी क्वेश्चंस प्लीज? Okay, then see you. Okay, tomorrow will be the last class. And if you are
नहीं
having any
सर,
doubts,
ओपिनियन लीडर का सर बोले थे देने के लिए।
वो तो मैं कॉलेज जाके दे दूंगा, वो तो छुट्टी है कॉलेज। ठीक है?
हाँ, कल कल सर दे
हाँ,
दीजिएगा।
कल दे दूंगा मैं, कल मेरे को याद है, कल दे दूंगा। ठीक है? कल का कॉलेज खत्म होने, आई मीन क्लास खत्म होने के बाद मैं कॉलेज जाऊंगा, कॉलेज में आप लोग को भेज दूंगा। ठीक है? वो मैं कर दूंगा, उसको फिक्र मत करो। ठीक है?
जी सर।